What's up, YouTube? Back here again with another video, and today we're going to quickly talk about the Heliospring. Alright, the Heliospring F4 flight controller, Imu-f. This is the flight controller that has an F3 and an F4. Okay, it's set up for, primary use for butterflight. And I'm going to show you how I have it kind of hooked up here. Now, I did do a live feed of trying to connect this guy, and I had some problems. Now, granted, I still had some problems. I cannot get it to arm on 32K for some reason. I'm still trying to do some research. So I have a BL Heli S ESC down here, 4-in-1, running the newest BL Heli 16 or whatever it is, .7, the newest release of BL Heli S. We got the newest release, I think it's 3.5.1, release candidate 8 on this guy here, and that's what we got. I'm running an RXSR Fox Ear Micro Predator and the new TBS Unify Race high volt with the MMCX connector. Okay, so you can see what parts I'm using. Now, this particular Lumineer had the correct wire harness with the correct pins for what I wanted to use. So again, I'll show you that in a second. So first things first, let's tell you what, let's talk about that connector and get right into that, and I'll show you what we got. So this connector here has everything you need coming from your 4-in-1. So starting from the front, we got your VBAT in, then your current line. This has a current cable coming out of it, which this has here. So it's VBAT, current, ground, 5-volt, motor 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got those all coming into here. Now, if you're going to run it in this configuration, you need to bridge this pad right here. This pad right here is the current pad. So if you're going to run it with this configuration and you want VBAC coming into this guy here, and you want to get your current via analog, not telemetry, you're going to select current. This pad here also does, this connector can also do ESC telemetry. You would select RX4 and not bridge that one if you were going to do that, and then set it up in Betaflight for that. So we have analog current, our VBAT, and all our motor signals coming in. Alright. Then along this rail over here, they have a full 5-volt rail and a ground rail. And coming off of here, I have my ground for my VTX, because I like to run the ground for the VTX and the camera together. Alright, and then I have the 12-volt for the high-volt VTX coming off over the 4-in-1. But if you had something like a 5-volt, this board here would be good for a Unify 5-volt, because you have a pretty large 5-volt rail here. This is the camera positive. All along here is all your UARTs, so you got 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Smart Audio is on UART 5. Now, if you come up here on this front run, you've got your power in, ground, and positive if you were going to use, not a 4-in-1 or something. And then you would have to select what you would want in if you were going to use that. So ground, power in, your camera video in, your camera control, so you can see this is going into my OSD control for the camera, run cam control, and then VTX video. And then over here, this is not labeled and nothing. Then over here we got ground, power, S-Bus, and smart port. So smart port, let's see. Now, the way I have everything working here now, the Fox Ear Micro Predator does work with camera control. I did set it up and I did get into it. It does work. It's not like the cleanest thing, but it does work. Let's see. Now I got the ports here. UART1. If you use this right here for your run cam, let me get rid of that, 'cause that's metal, we don't want to short nothing. This, if you use your camera control right here on the front, that's UART1. UART2 is S-Bus, this green, where this green one is. So that's going to be running on UART2. That's an inverted RxSR. UART3 is nothing. UART4 is smart port telemetry, which is right here. This yellow wire. And then I have UART5. Actually, I bet you that's probably wrong. I bet you that's wrong. Because UART4 is broken out for ESC telemetry, I'm going to venture to say that UART3 is going to be for smart port. And then I'm using UART5 down here for smart audio. Okay. I think that pretty much covers all my connections. So if you connect it all up like this, you shouldn't have much of a problem. Now all I got to do is button up the rest of this quad here, get it all, you know, finished up, and then I'll bring these back in for a final look. Okay, so here is my finished floss style. Finally, I did that live feed there, the live broadcast, and I couldn't get this thing crack-a-lacking, but we got a fresh 4-in-1 in here. And to be honest, this probably wasn't the best 4-in-1 to get, only because of the way it's kind of laid out. It's kind of like an older style there for wider frames. You know, I'm kind of not the biggest fan of this hanging out, but the way this frame is designed, there is proper clearance in there, and I'm not worried about prop strike, but I am worried about like something getting up in here and kind of smacking into that. I'm not exactly sure how to do that much better. So probably a 20 by 20 stack in here would probably be better, or like the Acon, or a more modern, smaller 4-in-1 that's kind of narrower, you know, side to side. And I couldn't spin it the other way because it smacked up into the standoff, so I couldn't do it any other way. We got this coming out here, and the battery's going to go up in here. This is going to get trapped up in here and connected. I got the GoPro mount coming for this, so we'll have that. This will all get trapped in here. Again, we got plenty of clearance. I kind of attached the antenna like this with a zip tie that way and that way. You can see it. Not the best, but I do have a mount coming from this. Hopefully that'll work. But yeah, you get the point. So as far as the Heliospring, I do want to make a correction real quick. I have this running and arming on 32/16. So 32 gyro and 16 PID loop. It's running, it's arming, everything seems to be functioning. I have my rates, and after that it's a stock butterfly on the release candidate 8 3.5.1, and that's about as much as I'm going to say at this point. It's a little different than Betaflight. I'm not exactly sure. A lot of things have changed on it, like, you know, as far as tuning and the different gains and all that other stuff. I'm gonna have to do more research myself. I'm gonna take this out and fly it on the stock one and see what we get. But as far as the IMU or the Heliospring, I think it is a cool flight controller. It's at like the forefront of technology with the F3 and the F4 set up for this butterfly, and I'm running 32/16 at like 30% CPU. I think it was like 39% CPU, no overclocking or nothing, so that's kind of cool. You can run 16/16. It was like 24% CPU, so that's kind of cool. So I'll take this guy out this weekend, give it some flying, and we'll check back. But that's how you set it up. That's how it kind of get yourself going. It seems to be a little finicky with the ESCs and stuff. I had some problems getting this guy running. First, it wasn't acting right. Then I updated this to the newest firmware, the ESC. And then when I dropped it all the way down to 8.8, I finally got it to ARM. And then I worked itself back up. I stepped it back up, and now it seems to be running, you know, everything all right. So, you know, yeah, that's what I got. So hopefully it flies well. We'll see. This is the, you know, butterfly test. See how it goes. See how it is. There you go. The Heliospring. The Heliospring Imu-f F4 flight controller. All right. That, and I'm also testing out the new Race MMCX. This is I got the Unified, TBS Unified Pro Race with the MMCX, so I'm kind of stoked about that. And yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.